Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Sheldina. If this is your first time seeing me, I just want to do a quick recap of all the books I read in the first half of January. So the first one I finished was The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. My husband said I should count this for January reads, and that's how Goodreads counted too, even though I read majority in December. However, this follows Ivy, who's just recently divorced. She bought a house in a small town, and that house used to belong to the town's Mr. and Mrs. Claus. They left all their stuff there because they both passed away. And so Ivy found the Santa suit, and in the pocket was a note from a little girl who's asking Santa to bring her dad home from a war. So Ivy felt it her mission to figure out what happened to the dad and if the girl got her wish. But on her first day of arrival, I should say, she met a realtor who's kind of cute. And so you follow her trying to figure out what happened while developing feelings for her realtor, Ezra. It was really cute. The only thing I didn't really like about this book was I felt it was cut weird, if that makes sense, edited odd. It went from scene to scene within a line. The scene change was just a line difference within the same paragraph, and that felt really weird to me. And it was like that throughout the entire book. So other than that, it was pretty cute, not bad. The next book I read was The Circle by Dave Eggers. If you've seen my TikTok and my short, this is a book with no chapters. There was no chapters in here. I will say it was broken up into 3 books, book 1, 2, and 3. And so I don't know if that's why they felt it didn't need chapters. However, book 1 was about 390 pages long. So no chapters was ridiculous. I had to switch to audio, and honestly, I'm kind of mad that I wasted my Audible credit. I wanted to see where this was going so bad. It is a dystopian sci-fi thriller. It's focused on technology and getting everyone accessible to know where everyone is. And I wanted to see the effects of that, how that is problematic. We don't need to know where everyone is at all times, especially a company. It was the company, The Circle, and it just was weird to me. Someone on Goodreads said this book was just good enough to finish, but just bad enough for me to wish I had it. And I resonated with that comment so much. The only reason I finished is because I paid for it with my Audible credit. I should have DNF'd it before I even went there. So that's on me. It just was flat for me. I also read The Night of the Storm by Nishita Parekh. That one hit a little close to home. So it's centered around Hurricane Harvey, and they were in Houston. She was going through Sugar Land and Clear Lake. I was like, this is right around the corner. And I was pregnant during Harvey, and I was scared I was gonna go into labor and not have a way to get to the hospital. I was like, my mom's gonna have to deliver this baby, and I don't want her to. I don't want her down there, but she's a nurse, so she would have been the only one, but I didn't want her. But it followed this woman who's running from her husband, but cohabiting with her sister to escape the storm or to wait out the storm. But then stuff starts going weird. People start dying in the house, and they're all suspicious of each other. It wasn't bad. It was okay. I didn't expect much, so it was fine. It was fine. Next, I read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And this is a slow burn. And when I tell you it is slow, so slow. Ange said in her second video that the Mariana Zapata book was so she thought she was gonna get old before they develop feelings. This was me. This was me. I was yelling at the book. I was like, okay, Abby, come on. At some point, someone has to say something. They've got to be like, hey, I like you. I love you. At your big age of 35, you should be able to express that. But I get it. Jacob dealt with a lot of anxiety. Brianna dealt with a lot of trauma as well. I don't think it was what they dealt with that stopped them from saying it. The only reason they weren't expressing their feelings is because they thought the other did not have feelings as well. And I was like, girl, let's move this thing along. But I thought this book was still just perfection. I thought Abby handled the topic of anxiety, the topic of the trauma from the cheating spouse, and other topics in there that I would say check your trigger warnings. Although she didn't go very deep into those topics, I think the one she mostly talked about was anxiety. As someone who deals with anxiety and has panic attacks, I thought she handled it well. There's also renal failure in here. This book was so good, and I thought she did her big one with redness, but they could have said it a little bit quicker. I still thought it was perfect though. I also read a memoir by Kerry Washington called Thicker Than Water, and I'm gonna be biased because I love Kerry Washington. That woman could do no wrong in my eyes. No wrong. Although, however, I did feel the plotting of the book was weird. I know it's centered around like her acting career, and so she was talking about different roles and as it relates to her life with her growing up. So I get why she did it that way. However, it felt all over the place to me. With that being said though, I still liked it. Sue me. It could be because I really like her. That's fine. That's fine. I liked it. I'm glad I read it. I will say that. Last one I've read so far was After Hours on Milagro Street by Angelina Lopez. It was about Alex, who came back to where her family lives on Milagro Street. Her grandma is trying to sell the bar and she's trying to purchase it. She meets Jeremiah there, and y'all, it got spicy on page 20. Literally the first night they met, she was on. I didn't expect that. Now, I don't mind a spicy scene. Just didn't expect it. I wasn't prepared for it. I was listening to an audio. I told my husband, oh, they're fucking. He was also trying to buy out the bar as well. And so there was like a little bit of tiff between them. It was okay. The plot just wasn't the best for me. But I really, really liked them talking about their family history. It was okay. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I'll say that. It just was okay. So those are all the books I've read so far in the month of January. I still have about 6 or 7 that is on my TBR to get through, and hopefully read more as well. But as always, thanks for watching. Happy reading. Love you guys. Bye.